Today is Yoga for Strength. This week's theme is purification, clarity. One of the niyama in the Yoga Sutras, ways to treat the self. So burning up, thinking about purification being the burning up of what is no longer needed. So burning things we don't need. We are going to work hard today. So some notes before you start. We are going to work hard without a lot of breaks. I'm not going to stop, but you are going to stop when you need to. So it's always available to you to come down to child's pose or some other pose that you find as a good pause pose for you. Take the breaks you need as you need them. And if you have a chair handy and you want to take out the focus of balance, we're going to do a couple of poses where we're working on some of the stabilizer muscles, and having the chair handy to balance with can be useful. If you don't have it, you're going to practice your balance. So we're going to start today down on our back. So come on down to your back, land on your back, and start to think about what is present. So if we think about heat being a purification, burning up things in our body, heating up our body, getting rid of stagnant energy, getting rid of maybe stagnant thoughts, maybe some emotions that are kind of clinging and hanging on. We can burn up, move some good hormones, some positive hormones around, dopamines around in your body. So starting to land, making yourself a little promise to stay on the mat. So when we move fast, when we really start to pump up the muscles, it's really important to stay on the mat, because when we're not paying attention and we're moving quickly, it's when we're more prone to injury. So really trying to make a promise to yourself to stay on the mat, stay in the physical body, really trying to have an experience with muscles, trying to find where you're weak, where you're strong, trying to get to know what is present. And then take a few breaths, really slowing down the breath. So pulling in really, really, really slow. Trying to feel every single part of your lungs as you fill up your lungs. And then even slower out. Nice, slow exhale. Really trying to feel the breath as it leaves your nose. Experience what it's like to fill your lungs. And then experience what it's like to really have your lungs fully empty. And then we're going to check on whether or not we really are emptying our lungs. So breathe in fully. Breathe out fully. Add a tiny gentle pause. And then give another squeeze. See if you can do a little bit more exhale. So breathing in fully. Breathe out fully. Gentle pause, and then give another squeeze. Do a couple of rounds, seeing if you're still holding a little bit of air in your lungs, even though you think you're pushing it all out. And then notice how you feel. Let all restriction on your breath go and just notice how you feel. Notice your emotional state, your mental state. We're going to move right into warming up the core muscles. So begin by pressing your hips down onto the ground. How do you press your hips down on the ground? You have to fire up some of these stomach muscles. Press your rib cage down onto the ground. So now you should feel pretty strong all the way through the stomach. bring your knees above your hips and your ankles in line with your knees. Holding here should feel like work in the core already. So strong stomach muscles here. Hands to thighs. We're going to inhale as we lengthen one side. Exhale as we squeeze back. Inhale as we lengthen. Exhale as we squeeze back. We want all this work to be in the stomach. So if you feel like you're starting to use your back a lot, don't lower your foot so close to the ground. Keep this in your stomach. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, squeeze back. Nice and strong, slow and controlled. And you want the heat to stay in your core. Notice if it's starting to come to your face. Soften your face. Move with your breath, slow and controlled. Nice and slow, keep going. Build some fire. And then bring both knees in. Give yourself a little hug, reset. And we're going to take the feet up to the ceiling. Begin by just spreading the toes, taking some ankle circles. Take the feet up and experience the legs up, feet above your heart. And then we're going to work on firing up the core again. So begin by pressing the hips down into the ground. Really fire up the stomach muscles first. And then it's an inhale as you lower right leg. Exhale as you bring it up. Inhale as you lower left. And exhale as you bring it up. So again, things to note. Notice if your back's starting to do all the work. Don't lower the foot so low to the ground. Try and keep this all in the front. We're trying to work these stomach muscles. Tightly pull the stomach down towards the spine. Press the hips into the ground. Press the rib cage into the ground. Try to fire up the muscles of the legs. Imagine you're pushing energy out through the soles of your feet. And then bring your knees in. Give yourself a little hug and reset. We're going to plant the soles of the feet down about hip width apart, knees up. We're going to fire up the muscles of the stomach, leaving the shoulders on the ground. Press it into the heels. Start to fire up the backs of the legs before we do anything. We're going to try and find backs of the legs, glutes, and the stomach muscles. So we want to pull the hips up with the stomach muscles as well. Moving with your breath. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lower. Trying to find all the muscles you can to connect with. Stomach muscles, glutes, backs of the legs. Move with your breath. Lower the hips, take the feet a little bit further away from you, and the same thing. So grounding down, finding the muscles first, fire up the legs, fire up the glutes, pull the hips up with the inhale, exhale, lower. Notice how it's a slightly different muscle group that you use. Check in on your neck. Try to keep a nice soft neck. Soften your face. Move with your breath. And then lower the hips and take the feet a little bit further away, so almost to straight. And then the same thing, fire up the backs of the legs and the glutes. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lower. Lower the hips, take the knees and hips side to side, little soft sway, reset. Bring the feet back closer to the hips, ground down, feet down, knees up. We're going to lift and hover right leg. So hips stay stable, a little bit of control here. So press your hips down into the ground, hips stable. Draw the right knee in towards the chest and then press the foot away. Inhale, draw it up. Exhale, press down. Trying to find the muscles of the legs. Take the right leg long. Press through the ball of the foot, but pull the toes back towards the shin. Nice and strong and active. And then make little teeny tiny circles with the ball of the right foot, trying to keep the hips really, really stable. Take these teeny tiny circles and then reverse the direction of the circle. Teeny tiny circle. Teeny tiny circle. You should start to feel some of the muscles really in deep around the hip. Breathe. Take your foot a little bit out to the right, so not the fullest extension. Out to the right where you can hold it nice and strong without any wobbling of the hips. You feel strong, you feel stable. Hold your leg here, teeny tiny circles. Breathe. Reverse the direction of your circles. And then bring the right leg down to the ground, knee up. Take a little side sway, notice left and right sides. Back to neutral, hips grounded. Left leg comes up. We're going to pull the knee in, press the ball of the foot away. Strong leg. Inhale, pull the knee in. Exhale, press away. Press the left leg long, really strong through the ball of the foot. Solid in the hips, little teeny tiny controlled circles. Really as if you're pointing with the ball of your foot right from the big toe, underneath the base of the big toe. Press through, get longer in the leg. And then reverse your circle. You take your fingertips to your stomach, you should feel some stomach muscles fired up, holding you stable. And then take the left leg out to the left to a point where you're strong. Hold it strong, make sure you're nice and stable, fired up, all the muscles of the leg firing. And then take your teeny tiny circles. Teeny tiny little controlled circles. And then back the other way. Reverse the direction of your teeny tiny circle. Control. Soften your face. Soften your breath. And then bring the left foot down, knee up, little side sway. Bring the knees into the stomach. Give yourself a little hug. Then roll on over to a side and come to a tabletop. Breathing, moving and breathing. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, back to child's. Move with your breath. Start to really feel the muscles of your arms and shoulders. Start to connect with your hands on the ground, starting to take some weight in your hands. Connect to the muscles in your back. Connect to your breath. And then we're going to work with the muscles of the chest and shoulders and arms. So find a stable place for your hands and wrists. If you are used to putting your hand at a 90 degree, be aware of what is around your wrist, what you have. Some people get a lot of inflammation doing this. So make space for your wrist if you need it. We're going to be working in our arms and shoulders for a while. Be mindful of your body. We're going to tuck the toes, fire up the feet and the legs. Just to start, we're going to start to take little tiny half push-ups. So bending the elbows, squeezing the elbows in towards each other, little tiny half push-ups. So tiny, tiny movements. Try to really think about pulling the elbows in towards each other, nice and strong. See if you can find some more muscles in your chest. And then we're going to take the elbows out wide. So move the elbows out wide. Maybe adjust your hands a little. We're going to take them out wide. And rather than bringing your weight and feeling like you're landing into your hands, have the sensation that you're pulling yourself up out of your wrist. So fire up the muscles of your arms and chest first. And then take your little tiny pulses. Teeny tiny controlled pulses. And you can stay here if this feels like that's just right for you. If you'd like to add a little more, you're going to lift and hover the knees. Try to stay very stable, little tiny pulses. And then lower the knees. If you lifted them, make a triangle with your hands. So index fingers and thumbs touch. Same thing. Set up, so you're pulling up out of the ground with all of the muscles of the arms and chest first. You can either lift and hover the knees or keep them where they're at. Little tiny pulses here. Breathe. Wherever you're at, lower the knees. Sink it back, child's pose. And then straight into child's pose push-ups. So coming back, exhale, child, inhale, forward, push up. Moving with your breath. Stay here or start to tuck the toes. And maybe when you come forward, hover the knees. Maybe keep the knees hovering, keep active the whole time. Move with your breath. Stay in control. So watching for buckling in the shoulders as you're coming down. If your shoulders are buckling and wobbling too much, there's not enough muscle control. Make the movement smaller. Start and build strength and small and strong. And then send it back. Down dog. Warm up your down dog in whatever way feels good for you. And then find the stillness of down dog. Bring the weight into the left hand. Start to lift the right arm up. We're even with the shoulder on the right side. Hold here. Switch sides. Start to lift the left arm, nice and slow with control. Try not to move anything but the arm. Breathe and hold. Bring it back down, down dog. Right arm lifts. And then we're going to thread it through, hold here, and then a little tiny push. Push through. Try to take this through the stomach. Watch for it coming from the sacrum. You want the movement to come from stomach, especially right between the rib and the hip. So press through. Try not to move anything else. Switch sides. Left arm lifts, threads through, little pulses. Push the left arm through. Hold steady with your stomach muscles. And then back to down dog. Find a steady base, nice and strong through the arms and shoulders. Without moving the arms and shoulders, slowly lift the right leg high. Press three-legged dog, and then take those tiny circles with the ball of the right leg or a ball of the right foot. Little teeny tiny circles, reverse your circle. Slow, controlled, tiny circle. And then reach long. Bring the knee towards the nose, nice and slow with control. Come forward, hold, hover. Pull the heel of the right leg forward, hold and hover. And then lift and lower. Lift and lower, right knee, lift and lower. So only the right leg moving. Breathe. Send it back, three-legged dog. Lower the right leg. Slowly, with control, lift left leg. Teeny tiny circles. Reverse the direction. And then slow and with control, pull the knee through towards the nose, pull the ankle towards the right hand, and then lift and lower the knee, trying to move only the leg. Send it back, three-legged dog, and lower the left leg. Bend the knees, hop forward, forward fold, let go. And then we're going to move and breathe. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Step back. Down dog. Breathe. Step or hop forward. Forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. This time hold. Inhale all the way up, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. Hold here. All right, I think about that same exercise we did with that leg on our back. We're going to do it standing and practicing our balance. If you want to use the chair here, grab the chair for one hand to hold on to. We're going to bring the weight onto the left leg. I'm going to turn so you can see me. Right leg comes forward without the hip going out. So pull the knee up without the left hip going out. Strong leg. Inhale, draw the leg up. Exhale, press it down. So inhale up. Exhale, press. You can stay with this, or if you'd like to make this bigger, we're gonna inhale, press it up, exhale, press back. Inhale, drop, exhale, press back, all the way to high lunge. Hands can stay out. You can move the arms, yogi's choice. Try to be strong, steady, and stable in the legs. Draw the stomach muscles in to keep your balance. Wherever you're at, lift the knee and then send it back slowly, high lunge. Find your high lunge nice and steady. So thinking about your balance, you may need to step this back leg in a little. You want to be strong in the legs, low back soft. We're going to lower this back knee. So slowly lower towards the ground. Find the place where you can hold strong. You're steady and stable. And then we're going to pulse here, little tiny pulses. So squeezing, pulling up out of the ground with the left leg. So we're really pulling back up. Even though we're pulsing down, try to really feel like you're pulling up all the way to this left hip. Breathe, little pulses. Hold here, send the right leg towards straight, and then bend. Small movements, let your hips move naturally. We want to feel like we're pulling from the back of the calf. Right leg down. Nice and slow, with control. Find a steady high lunge. Bring the torso forward. Nice, strong legs. Really, really strong legs. Really feel like you're firing up, pulling up out of the ground on this left leg. Right arm forward. We're going to take right shoulder across the body and back. Inhale, open. Exhale, cross. Trying to stay stable in the hips and only move through the torso. Should be firing up in this left hip, left glute. Bring it back, high lunge. We're going to slowly come through warrior three. So bring the torso forward, weight onto the left leg. See if you can press through the right heel and lift up. Challenge, take your little teeny tiny circles here with the right leg. Breathe. Reverse your circles. And then slowly bend the right leg and come all the way back to where we came, standing, right leg forward. And then bring it down, tap out the left foot. Notice left and right side, so you should feel this burning left glute space. And then mountain pose, connect to the breath.
Mom, someone's calling you. Answer your phone, unless you don't like them. And then you can just...
Connecting to your breath, find your mountain pose. Other side, so weight onto the right leg without sending the hip out. Left leg strong, bring it strong and active. Really strong leg. Inhale, draw up. Exhale, press down. Inhale, draw up. Exhale, press back, low lunge. Inhale, pull up. Exhale, press. You can stay with just lifting and pressing, or come with us, pump it up a little more. Strong legs, both sides. You don't want to be wobbling through the hips. You want to Stay really strong in the legs. Move with your breath. If you're not sure if you're staying stable in your hips, take your hands here. Get to know where your hips are in space. And then wherever you're at, find a high lunge, nice and slow with control. Find your high lunge that's stable. So balanced and stable, soft low back. Breathe and hold for a second. And then we're slowly going to lower left knee towards the ground. So we find a place that we can hold that doesn't feel strained around any joints. So we want to be comfortable. And then we want to engage muscles to lift and lower pulsing. Little tiny pulses. Legs squeezing as tight as possible. Both legs active, really strong. Feel like you're really trying to pull this right heel back towards the glute. Nice and strong. And then find your lunge. Slowly send left leg towards straight and then back to bent. Nice and slow with control. Feel like you're pulling from the middle of the lower leg, not from the heel. See if you can start to feel like you're really pulling from the muscle rather than the bone or the joint. And then hold a high lunge. We're going to bring the torso forward. Strong legs first. Really, really, really strong. Left arm out. And then we're going to inhale, open here. Exhale, bring the shoulder across the body. Inhale, open, exhale, shoulder across. Trying to keep the legs super stable. Notice that even though the hips are not moving, you're going to feel this right glute space. Bring it back to high lunge. Hold. Weight onto the front leg. Slowly come up through warrior three. Pop that left leg up. Strong left leg. Challenge to do your little tiny circles. And then back the other way. Bend the knee. Come all the way back to where we came. And slowly tap the right, step it down, tap the right foot out. Connect to your breath. Inhale up. Exhale, part to heart. Bring your prayer to heart. Holding at mountain pose. So we're going to do that same thing, trying not to move the hips. Pull the left leg up, bent knee. Both legs strong and active. And we're going to take the left leg out to left side. Hold it here, nice and strong. See if you can get taller, taller, taller. If you want to hold the chair to help you with your balance. You're going to pull the heel in and out. In and out. Small controlled movement. Pull the knee all the way out as far left as it can go. Slowly step it out, open to the side. So we're going to find our warrior two legs. You want to have your chair handy, close to the left leg if you have it. Find your warrior two legs first. Feel like you're pulling yourself up out of the ground. So not just sinking into joints, but really pulling up. Strong, active leg muscles. Really, really strong. Feel like you're pulling your hips open with your leg muscles. Arms out, lengthen. Make your hands like you're pushing the walls away from you. And we're going to move with the torso, just the torso, back and forth. Trying to keep the legs exactly where they are. challenge. Take the arms in little tiny circles as you move. Little tiny controlled circles. See if you can focus. Not moving the legs. Not losing strength in the legs. Still keeping a lot of attention in the torso. Little tiny circles. Hold warrior two. Look at your chair. I'm going to bring the weight into the left leg. Slowly peel up the right. So we're coming to half moon. Press energy through the right leg and get really strong in the torso. The chair is just for balance. It should be light touch. You want to stay balanced with the muscles of your torso. Press through the right heel. We're going to point and flex the foot. Point and flex. Try not to drop into this left side. Light on the fingers. Stay balanced. Press the toes. Press the ball of the foot away, toes back. Strong leg, little tiny circles. Teeny tiny controlled circles. Find your breath. Reverse your circles. We're going to bring our knee in towards our chest. Hold nice and strong. Heel towards our nose and then back. So we're just moving below the knee. Try to keep everything else steady and strong. Send that right leg back out long. Everything should be burning by now. Right, and press through the heel. And imagine we're pulling the heel down and up. Down and up. So toes come up, heel goes up. Toes come up, heels go up. Pull the heel down to the ground. Up. Slowly bend left leg, and come down as slow as you can with control to warrior two. Back to where we were. Lengthen. And then slowly bring the legs towards straight. Toes in, feet parallel. Take a little shake. I need to move my chair. Take a little shake, and then we're going to go back the way we came. So we're going to bend the right leg. Start to bring the weight onto the right leg. Start to bring the left leg up, all the way in. We're going to cross left leg over right knee. So just above the knee, hold here. Bend the right knee, legs strong and active. So you want to feel like you're pulling the left knee down towards the ground. Maybe this is where you stay. Maybe you come all the way down, sit it down to a chair. Low back soft, shoulders soft, stomach strong, legs strong. Breathe. Slowly unravel and over to the other side. So get nice and tall, strong in the left leg. Bring the right leg forward, hold it here, nice and strong. Pull it out to the right. We're going to pull the heel in and out, in and out. And again, you can hold on to the chair for balance. Whew. Or you can try and challenge yourself. Get really tall in the spine. Bring the knee all the way out to the right, and we're going to take a big step forward. I didn't have enough space. Warrior two legs. Set up your base first. Really move around, find your base. Strong, strong legs. Breathe. Arms out. We're going to take our torso back and forward, back and forward. This time you'll be making fists. Try to keep your legs nice and strong. We're moving through the torso. And then maybe taking your little tiny circles as you move. See if you can do it. Lots of focus needed. Burn up your muscles. Hold warrior two. Looking at the chair, we're going to bring the weight into the right leg. And you're going to slowly come forward and pop up the left. Find your half moon. Once you get here, making sure you're just using the chair for balance. We're not really sinking in and forgetting about our shoulder here. Nice and strong. Point and flex the foot. Left leg really strong. Squeeze some more muscles. Point and flex. Little circles. Teeny tiny controlled circles. Back the other way. Leg long. Bring the knee in towards the nose. Bring the heel in towards the nose. And then lift and lower. Trying not to move anything but the lower leg. Squeeze. Longer in the torso. Soft in the face. Long, 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 long. Hold. Heel down. Heel up. Heel down. Heel up. Trying to keep everything else still. Stay strong. You can do it. We're almost there. Burn it up. Build some heat. Build some fire. And then take it long. Slowly bending into the right knee. Lower down as slow as you can to warrior two. Hold in warrior two. Hands to hips. Turn toes out. Heels in. And find your goddess. So goddess legs. Don't go to your maximum level. Go to where you can hold strong. Find strong legs. Hold here. Set up first. So soft shoulders, soft low back, strong, strong, strong legs. We're going to take little pulses. We're going to build some fire. So pull the knees apart with the muscles of the legs. Squeeze and press through the heels. Little pulses. Hold, peel one heel in at a time, nice and slow. Small, tiny, controlled movements. One heel in, out, out. Burn it up. Move slow with control. So we're not just flopping around in the joints, we're pulling the heel. Pull. Should be finding the muscles of the inner thigh. Pull. Bring the toes parallel, bend the knees. Hold here. We're going to bring the weight over to the right side and the left side. So you want to feel like you're trying to pull the feet apart, really lock the muscles of the legs. Right side, left side. Move, breathe with control, nice and controlled. Find the muscles of your legs. Keep an eye on your hips. Get to know where your hips are. Breathe. Bring it over to the right side and we're going to turn toes out and in. Toes out and in. Move with control, not just flopping around these ankles and knees. We're really trying to find the muscles of the leg. Bring the toes in. Land here, little tuck of the pelvis like you're trying to do a crunchie, and then pull knee in and out. Knee in and out, really like you're trying to do a crunchie. Squeeze the muscles of the stomach. Squeeze the muscles of the leg. Lower right heel, slide on over to left side. Turn toes in and out. Slow, controlled. Controlled leg movement. Find the muscles that make the foot move. Breathe, burn it up. Bring it back. Pull the heel in and back. So it's a crunchie. Pull the pelvis in. Pull the chest down towards the knee. Crunchy movement. Pull up. Slow with control. Bring the left heel down. Bring it up. Star pose and give the legs a shake. Really shake it up. Loosen and soften. If you like, you can find the chair and really shake the legs left to right. Get loose and soft in the legs. And then find steady, even place where you can hold the legs, and we're going to pull one heel up at a time, just feeling the feet. Not so much burning now, but just trying to feel what is present. Notice. Bringing your torso back up, step it in and connect to the breath. We're all done. Inhale, fresh. Exhale, bring our prayer to our heart. Hold your prayer at heart space. Check in with how you feel. If you would like to just meet me down in child's pose, go ahead, inhale up, swan dive it down. If you want one last challenge before we go down, we'll come up to toe stand. So, we worked our legs a lot. Bend the knees. Bring your feet hip width apart. Imagine you're squeezing a block between your knees. Your knees are really squeezing towards each other, and then imagine you're trying to pull them apart as well. See if you can get both sides of your legs fired up. Pull the heels up. Slowly lower the hips as slow as you can. All the way down. Try not to land on the heels. And try and hover right above the heels. And you can stay here if you like the challenge. You're going to pull knees in and out. Small controlled movement. You can access a mudra, interlacing all the fingers, but index push forward. Squeeze, and then squeeze the knees open. Hold, try to hover the hips. And then wherever you're at, slowly lower down. Bring the knees down and find a child's or all the way down to crocodile. One hand on top of another, forehead down, shimmy the hips if you're going to crocodile. Take a deep breath in and exhale, sigh out of the mouth a couple of times. We're going to take just a little bit of spinal movement, just moving through the patterns of our back. So we're going to take our hands out just for support. We're going to inhale with our torso center. Exhale, lower shoulder across midline and turn and look the other way. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn. Just kind of moving through upper back, moving through any holding patterns you have in your back and shoulders. Starting to soften. And then bring it back, forearms down. So place your forearms down and engage first. So hands down. Imagine you're pulling your hands and your elbows apart without letting anything move. And then imagine you're pulling your chest forward. Breathe. And we're going to do a throat cleanse here. So think about generating a lot of strength and heat in the throat. So we're going to inhale in, exhale, lion's breath. So mouth open, tongue out. 3 times. So it's a deep inhale in, aha, out with the tongue out. And then come on back down to crocodile. Feel free to skip if you're still in child's pose and if that's where you prefer to be. So deep breath in. Bring it on down to crocodile pose and see what comes up. So we have made it all the way to our resting pose. We have the chair. If you like, you can roll over and put your feet up on the chair and take your resting pose on your back with your feet on the chair. You can stay in crocodile if that's the pose that feels like a resting pose to you. Maybe you want to stay in child's. Maybe you want to be in an entirely different position. So go ahead and make a choice about where you would like to be for your resting pose. And start to scan. So the whole point of yoga is to getting to know oneself. What feels different? What feels different from when you started practice? Maybe some muscles feel different. Maybe you feel a little energized. Maybe you feel a little tired. There are no right answers. So check in. See how you feel. See what is different from when you started practice. Check in on the feet. See if you can soften the feet a little more. See if you can soften your hands. See if you can soften your face. And then check in on the muscles of breathing. Notice if you're still gripping around your breath. And take a few breaths, really drawing in intentionally, and exhale, really pushing the exhale out. Taking a few breaths, mindfully controlling the breath. And then with an exhale, see if you can just soften and loosen all of the muscles around breathing. So you're going to let go of control of even your breath. Check in on the muscles of the face. Check in on the jaw. Soften around the jaw. See if you can put some space between the teeth. Soften the tongue and the mouth. Soften the lips. And then we're going to do a meditation, focusing on the breath, but trying to focus on it without muscular action. So if you know that you're prone to pulling your breath whenever we talk about breath, there's many people that are, when you talk about breath, you already start really strong, slow, controlled breath. So if you know you're prone to that, maybe bringing your hands to your torso just to help you remember to be soft in this space. Or something else that helps you remember that we're using our imagination to connect with our breath, not our muscles this time. So starting to think about our breath as where it comes in through the tip of our nose. Just see how much sensation you can feel of your breath coming in. And because the theme of the week is clarity, purification, we're going to think about that space outside of us being full of fresh, purifying, cleansing oxygen. And we're going to think about our lungs holding on to whatever we're ready to get rid of. So rather than thinking of a memory or a particular thing, we're going to just think of bringing in fresh, clean, cleansing, and letting go of whatever we no longer need. So spring cleaning with our breath. So starting to think, and if you like, you can give your breath a color that helps you. If you're very visual, if that helps you, think of like a nice cleaning color that you think connect to, and you're drawing it in through the nose and you're watching it go down, and it's cleaning and filling up your lungs with fresh, clean oxygen, and then it's slowly, slowly, slowly sweeping out. Imagine you're sweeping out dust from your lungs. So as much as you can, connecting, sweeping in fresh, sweeping out what we no longer need, connecting to that constant cleansing practice that happens naturally, happens when we sleep, happens without our control, this natural drawing in afresh and releasing out of what we no longer need. Practice noticing when your thoughts have driven you away from this practice. Maybe you're distracted by something in your environment. Maybe you're distracted by a common thought pattern or to-do list. Just notice when that happens. And gently begin again. Bring sensation to the tip of the nose. Feel the breath going in. And then connect to the fact that it's fresh, cleansing oxygen. And then as it comes back out, see how many places in your throat you can feel it releasing, loosening, and back out the way it came, what we no longer need. You have the time to take, spending time in this practice, watching your breath come in fresh and release out what's no longer needed. Please take as much time as you need. If you need to finish up at the 60-minute mark, you're coming right up to that 60-minute mark. So begin to bring a little attention to your fingers and your toes. Take some wiggles in the physical body and slowly make your way over to a fetal position on whatever side is calling to you. Curl up in a little ball and keep thinking about that drawing in fresh and releasing out what's no longer needed. And maybe thinking about it being a little more than a physical practice. Thinking about drawing in fresh oxygen, fresh rejuvenating energy. And exhaling whatever is in the way of our connection to our bliss layer, our center, our heart, our soul. So inhaling fresh, exhaling, letting go of some of those barriers. And some of those barriers can be as simple as some of those harsh inner stories we tell ourselves, the inner critic that we carry around. Some of those things that our mind repeats that we do not serve us at all. So some of these negative things, maybe you look in a mirror and a certain judgment comes up every time you look in a mirror. Maybe think about letting that story go. We also build up walls of protection around our bliss layer, around our heart, around our spiritual self. So maybe giving the walls around your heart a visual, imagine drawing in fresh, and this fresh energy just kind of beats away at these walls. And slowly, little by little, they release what is held. They release all this protection. And the fresh energy comes all the way through, and you're able to connect within. Start to imagine feeling a little bit lighter physically, emotionally, mentally, a little bit softer. And then when you come on up to a seat, imagine coming up softer, lighter. Bring your hands to prayer heart space, connecting our left and right sides in front of our heart. gesture of accepting ourselves as whole and complete, precisely as we are. May all beings be peaceful and at ease. Thank you so much for joining us.